I'm not the best baker. I never intended to be. Oh, no. Oh my goodness. I should have done that. And that's all, folks. Just ignore me. I will get to where I need to go. I do it just a little bit differently than you. Hey, hi everybody. It's Papa from the Papa's Kitchen. I've got a little special thing going for you today. We're getting up close to, I was out and saw a bunch of signs. Different churches, different groups are having their harvest party, or the First Baptist up the road here, they have a big deal from 6 to 9. I drove by that today, Sue. Oh. And on Halloween. As a kid, Susan didn't grow up in the States. She grew up in Nigeria. I don't think they did Halloween.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Did you? Oh,
the Baptist Mission used to have a spook house.
And so you'd go around and get candy and all that?
No, we ate eyeballs that were melon balls.
Oh,
and we did that kind of stuff.
I don't want to hear. But even as a kid in the 50s and 60s growing up in Detroit, we did Halloween. We came from a very conservative, sort of strict church background, but Halloween parties were pretty common back then. They were more fun. We dressed up as policemen or firemen or cowboys or Indians or nurses or doctors. Sometimes people would put a sheet over and be a ghost or whatever. And maybe it's my age, so take it for what it is. It seems like oftentimes people just get sort of weird concerning Halloween, and it almost becomes, to my way of thinking anymore, a celebration of death, which I don't like to do because I'm a sort of a life kind of guy. But I said all that to say this. I'm going to make an Apple Dapple cake, and this is an old Southern classic. I've seen this recipe or a variation on this recipe in like Southern Living magazine or other little books that I've got. It's just a normal thing in the fall as apples come in. So I'm starting in the mixer, and you can use a hand mixer or this stand mixer. I'm starting with 1.5 cups of a canola oil or vegetable oil. I've got vegetable oil for this. I'm going to do 2 cups granulated white sugar. It's a sweet deal. And we're going to mix this up a little bit until they're well combined for about a minute or so. And then, let me get my cups going here. And by the way, I'd be curious as how many of you, maybe if you do have kids or grandkids or whatever, do Halloween stuff still. I noticed a lot of churches now do, and all churches of all types, they do this harvest party or fall festival or whatever the case may be. And I think they still allow kids to dress up or whatever, which is really fun as a kid. But I don't think they get into the ghoulish, weird kind of stuff. I'm mixing that up, and we'll do that for about a minute. This is such an easy recipe. I've got 1.5 cups of oil, along with 2 cups of granulated sugar, and then for about a minute. And then I'm going to add 3 eggs that I've got at room temperature. I'm sort of finishing up my apples. I did some Granny Smiths. You can do Honeycrisp as well. I need 4 cups of this, so it's about, in this case, about 3 of these apples. Oh yeah, thank you.
Done with the sugar?
Yeah, I'm done with the sugar, that sugar. We'll do brown sugar a little bit later for the topping. I'm making my apples cut pretty small. I want small pieces, although I'm looking in what I've already done and it's not the smallest, but anyhow, it's fine. And when you put this in your pan, I've got a 9 by 13 over here. It looks like it's really thick and everything, and you're going, oh my goodness, is this ever going to do anything? And it almost looks like cement, but it comes up and it's just so nice and so...
I've never heard of an Apple Dapple.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think people do all sorts of things with apples, and you're going to get an experience then, Sue. And you put a nice, real sweet topping on it, and that's just great. And I do know this, every Halloween, my mom would do something special. We sort of had a tradition in our house that we had chili that night with, I don't think she did cinnamon rolls. That's more of a Nebraska thing. Detroit, we did chili. I forget what she did to eat, or I don't think she did any desserts because we knew we were getting a lot of, you'd go around to neighbors and you know, yell trick or treat, and they fill up your little basket with candy, and we always sort of participated as well with that. And so we'd be eating candy until our teeth rotted out normally. And it was fun. My brothers and I, we really enjoyed doing that. And what are you going to dress like? And it was all that kind of stuff. So finishing up this apple here, and I just, again, I'm using the Granny Smith, and I'm needing about 3 cups. And actually, these apples were so big, I'm probably ending up putting in about 5 cups of apples here. By the way, this calls for pecan halves. I didn't have in the freezer any pecan halves open, but I did have some pecan pieces, and I need to get rid of them, so I'm going to use those. You don't have to put in nuts either, so not to worry. Okay, that's looking really good. Now, I'm going to add one at a time my eggs, and we're going to continue to let this thing mix. There we go. 1. And I usually bring these eggs out a little bit early to make sure they're at room temperature before I drop them in. 2. Whoops! Oh, no. Oh my goodness. I should have done that in a bowl. I hope nobody...
We'll have a little crunch.
You'll have a little crunch and it won't be the pecans. Nuts. I think I got it all. Yeah, in fact, I think I did. They were all...
There you go. Lesson number 1.
Lesson 1. Do it in a bowl.
Break them in a cup or something.
I should have known better. Okay. Don't make that mistake, folks. And some of you that have been cooking a long while know better. I'm the amateur here, so...
It's those, it's the beater that gets in the way.
It gets in the way every time, and I really, I do see one piece in there. I'll see if I can find it. Okay, look, I'm going to stop the video just for a second. I'm going to find the piece, and then I'll be right back. Okay, the next thing this involves is, I took care of it. It's not... Anyhow, I'm not inviting you to dinner. It's a big dessert. My family will be dealing with it, so okay. I'm using White Lily self-rising flour, and I need 3 cups. I read something the other day, Sue, and it really impressed me with White Lily, or any flour for that matter. Add your 3 cups slowly and let this blend. And what you do is you measure this by grams. A cup is considered anywhere between 120, 125 grams. If you're a few percentages over, it's not a big deal, but oftentimes, depending on how you scoop this out, you can find yourself going, oh, sorry, is it getting a little, let me just let it go for a second. I'm not the best baker. I never intended to be. There we go, okay. If you go about 20% over the allotment of 120, 125 grams, you will have dried out food, whatever you're baking. And so I have taken to doing by weight, and I am really trying to see if I can get a much more moist deal. With my baking, my breads, all that kind of stuff. So, anyhow, that's sort of what my experiment is. I love all the dust and everything. I just love it. It looks Halloweenish. Okay, now I'm going to stop that just for a second because I need to also add in 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So let me do that. Here's 1.5, and I'm not as trying to get that as, perfect. There we go. There we go. What a mess, I'll tell you right now. I'm going to have to go shower with all this egg problem and everything else. Oh, God. No, Lord have mercy. And in just a second, I'll add the vanilla. I've got my own vanilla, but let me make sure that this is well mixed. It's looking good. And just before we pour in our apples and our pecans, I'm going to make sure that we've got this thing off the... There we go. Hey, stay out of that. It's raw.
No,
I thought you were going to eat it.
That's
raw egg. Well, people are going to yell at you.
Nothing.
Okay, so that's all combined. Now, what I'm going to do is, while that's going on like that, I'm going to stir in. I'm not going to mix in, but I'm going to stir in my apples, my pecans, and my vanilla. Boy, does that look very nice. So let me take that off of here. We'll get all that off. You know what it is? I feel weak. I need some dessert. A cup of coffee and some dessert. I really do. So I'm sorry, folks. Just ignore me. I will get to where I need to go. I do it just a little bit differently than you would. I recognize that. See, it's really thick, and that's what it's supposed to be. And so that's pretty interesting.
I think it looks like a regular cake batter.
Well,
with the apples, it'll be
maybe. Anyhow, we're going to stir these in. It's Granny Smith's.
Those will sour it up.
Oh, yeah.
So much sugar.
Yeah, so much sugar, it'll take some of that sugar
That's what makes it thick.
out.
It's all the apples.
And I'm only going to put in, they say a cup of these nuts, but I'm not going to even do that much. I want to taste the apples and all this batter and everything. See how thick that is? I don't think that's, I think it's thicker than a normal.
It is because of the apples.
So let me do
But what do I know?
What do you know? I'm going to do a
Don't know
little bit of a
anything.
high, half a cup, right like that. So maybe 2/3 of a cup. We're going to stir that. Oh, and I want to put my vanilla in. If I'm doing all this work stirring, might as well have my vanilla in there right now too. That's how I figure. And I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of that vanilla. I know it, you're laughing at me.
Yeah.
I wish you wouldn't. Look at my hand shaking. I'm needing a sugar fix.
No, I think you had too much sugar and coffee this
Need
morning.
a little bit more of that. I love that stuff. You think so? I don't think I did.
Did you have any protein?
No, I didn't have any.
There you go.
Granola's not protein.
No.
Okay. Then I didn't
But
have
what do I know?
Yeah.
Almond milk would be the closest to protein you
I
had
could
this
do almond
morning.
milk.
Has some protein, but not much.
No. Ooh, does this ever look good? All right. Now the other thing that I got to do is butter or put some shortening, which I'm going to use in this dish before I put it in here. And we're going to cook it at 325, and it's going to just come out just great. Okay, there you go.
There you go. Okay.
So that's that. Now let's do this. Let's get the shortening.
You're gonna just grease the pan,
I'm
right?
going to just grease the pan. That's all I'm going to do.
You're like you're exhausted.
This thing is just, it was started with the eggs and went downhill from there.
It's the dapple part of the cake.
The dapple, yes. Yes. I don't know how they got that name.
No, that would be interesting. I should go Google
You
it.
should. Okay, you found out, Susan? You did another Google?
Well, they didn't say much except that they said everybody's grandmother has this recipe somewhere.
Mine didn't, but what do they know?
But it's considered an old-fashioned apple cake. It's got a coffee cake kind of consistency.
Oh, okay.
But the idea, so you do have to have the pecans. So the idea is to have apples and nuts.
Oh.
Not necessarily pecans.
Yeah, you could do walnuts, I would think, just
Right.
as easily.
And that it was originally an Amish recipe.
Oh,
That
no
the
kidding.
Southern people made Southern.
Okay,
But came from an Amish recipe.
Yeah.
Interesting, huh?
that is interesting. Okay, so my oven is already preheated. It's in this 9 by 13 inch cooking platter. And we're gonna just stick it in the oven here in short order. And it's going to bake at 1 hour and 15 minutes. So that's a little long, but getting it good and baked. And then once that's about 5 minutes away from being done, I'm gonna come back with you and show you the topping that we're gonna put on it so that when we pull it out, we can pour this beautiful sugar topping on. It's just great. So there we go.
That's the southern part.
That's the southern part, yeah. Okay, we're about 5 minutes away from my cake being done. And this is going to be the sauce that was poured on top once it comes out of the oven. I need 1 stick of butter, half a cup of butter, and that's in that saucepan. I need a cup brown sugar added to that. I packed my brown sugar. Boy, I'm almost out of brown sugar. I don't think I have it.
No, we have more.
Do I?
Yeah.
And then I need only a 1/4 cup of milk. And I got some whole milk here as well. We're going to mix this together, and this is what's going to go on. And you can tell it's just going to be super good, obviously. There we go. So a cup of brown sugar and a 1/4 cup, half of this, 1/4 cup of milk. There we go. Turn that on and get that going. It's going to be good. Okay, that's the noise that my cake is done. Oh man, it looks beautiful. It smells absolutely delicious. Alexa, off. I timed it just perfect. This is ready to go. And what I'm going to do, Alexa, off. Anyhow, look at what I do is you can just put it on top. I'm putting some holes in here, so that sauce, once it goes on, will go down these holes a little bit. It just makes everything so much nicer. And we're just going to make sure that this is spread evenly and get my offset spatula going here. Oh, this is going to be so...
I noticed when I was looking up the name on the internet that some people put it in a... but they put it in a pan to cook with the thing up the middle.
Oh, a bunt.
A bunt pan, yeah.
Yes, it can be done that way, actually.
Yep, that's what people showed on there. And then it drizzles down the side.
Yeah, pretty nice, huh?
Yeah.
There just can't be anything better than this, I gotta believe. I've never done this before. It's sort of a first for me. But I am anxious to definitely try it, see how it turns out.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be delicious.
Like I said, my grandmothers, I don't remember them ever doing anything like this. I certainly don't remember my mother doing it. We've got to be up in a couple, 3 weeks up north. It'll be after Halloween, but I'll make it for the kids. They'll love this.
Yep. You can make this for Thanksgiving dessert.
Well, you gotta have pumpkin or sweet potato pie. You gotta have pecan pie. Come on. Don't mess. You don't mess with certain things. You just don't mess with it. Okay, that just really looks so good. Now.
You don't cut it yet.
Oh, no. We're gonna let this get nice and cooled off. Absolutely. Here, let me just buy just chance. Oh my.
Well, it's like eating toffee.
It is. Try it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Isn't that great? Okay, that's gonna cool. We're gonna come back a little bit later, cut that. I'll show you that, and I'll take a bite of it, but that's just gonna be good. I'm gonna take this up tomorrow to my brother's house. We're going out on the boat for the day, and this will be a great way to have coffee out there on the water. Sip our coffee, eat our
Apple Dapple cake.
So try it and enjoy, and serve it. See what your folks, what your family thinks about it. Hey, look at how beautiful my cake turned out, and I have to be honest. I tried a bite, and oh my goodness. I can't believe all that thick stuff that we put in. It comes out light, fluffy. Oh, it's just good. Let me tell you, the tart apple with the that I used with the Granny Smith, which they were tart, along with that sweet. Every bite you get this sweet, sour thing going on. It's just really great.
That's cool.
I mean, so anyhow, there you go, folks. Try that. Your family will love that. Even with, look at, I mean, this is how I would do it actually. Nice glass of milk
Yes.
with this. That's how you eat this right there.
Or a cup of coffee.
Or a cup of coffee.